People who eat hot dogs eat them because they taste so good. But what's in them is not so good. You know, we've learned to accept it, but I don't know if you'll feel so accepting after this. The company Clear Foods recently analyzed 345 hot dog and sausage products from 75 brands and retailers and found, are you hot dog lovers ready for this? Human DNA in 2% of the samples and in 2/3 of the vegetarian samples. And get this, 10% of all vegetarian products appear to contain meat. Clear Foods says that there are some companies producing high-quality hot dog, top scores to Butterball, McCormick, Eckrich, and Hebrew National. Human DNA. People who eat hot dogs.
Cole,
Yeah.
what did you bring for dinner tonight?
Human DNA. Apparently. Apparently human DNA.
Apparently.
Why did you play that while we were eating our quick dinner?
I figured it was appropriate. I saw a hot dog headline and I thought, why don't we just check this out? And now I don't know if I feel like eating anymore.
Well, I'm going to finish mine and then we can get into it because I'm hungry. And, you know,
It is really good.
that's why we eat hot dogs, because we don't know what's in them. So, as long as I don't make a mess and get it all over my beard, we can finish our hot dogs and get into this. So good.
How does human DNA get into hot dogs?
I have no idea. I'm assuming because...
And what about... Oh, don't assume anything. Don't assume.
I'm not assuming anything, but I'm trying to figure out why there's human DNA in hot dogs.
That's incredible. I'm going to go ahead and pull up. You know what? Let me finish this hot dog really quick because I don't want to be eating and reading.
Right.
That's disgusting. But what's amazing is that how are they finding meat products in vegetarian foods? She said that too.
I didn't even hear that part because I was like,
Yeah.
Eat them because they taste so good. But what's in them is not so good. You know, we've learned to accept it, but I don't know if you'll feel so accepting after this. The company Clear Foods recently analyzed 345 hot dog and sausage products from 75 brands and retailers and found, are you hot dog lovers ready for this? Human DNA in 2% of the samples and in 2/3 of the vegetarian samples. And get this, 10% of all vegetarian products.
2/3 of the vegetarian samples. Wait, did it say meat products in 2/3 of the vegetarian or human DNA in 2/3?
I think it said
What's in your 2/3? 2% of
meat
samples. 10% of vegetarian samples contain meat.
Yeah.
2% of samples. Top scores to Butterball, McCormick, Eckrich, and Hebrew National. Well, I didn't mean to say that, but so top scores, is that like a good thing or a bad thing? Does that mean they had higher scores of human DNA or they had less?
It has more top scores, and like this hot dog has more human DNA than this one. So all you cannibals, you enjoy your hot dogs.
Holy mackerel. Okay. Well, let's finish this here.
Okay.
Appear to contain meat. Clear Foods says that there are some companies producing high-quality hot dog, top scores to Butterball, McCormick, Eckrich, and Hebrew National. Human DNA.
She still didn't really define whether if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah. No.
Depending on how you look at it, huh?
So I guess no. That she said that there are high quality hot dogs, Butterball, McCormick, and those.
I know we used to always serve Hebrew National. That's what when I was doing lunches years ago in the food truck.
Yeah.
I started off with like the Kirkland dogs, but then we just went all Hebrew Nationals. That's just what we went with.
Yeah. And I will say I do enjoy a good hot dog, especially like at a hockey game or at a baseball game for sure. When we're barbecuing over the summer. Well, in Montana, we barbecue year round. It doesn't matter if it's 20 below or 110 degrees outside. We're barbecuing, and we'll buy higher quality hot dogs, you know.
Yeah, you just got to. Life is too short
It is.
to eat cheap hot dogs.
I know.
And I mean, cheap hot dogs are fine too, whatever. But after a while, you're just like, you know what? If you're going to do a hot dog, go for the good ones.
And now,
Nathan's. I like Nathan's.
yeah. We've done Vegas a few times and always get the Nathans, so those are good. But now I'm gonna just like make sure we got the good hot dogs because I really don't care like eating human DNA.
Right, because now every time you go to the store, you're going to think of this story,
I
right?
am.
Okay, so let's bring up, I got more. Well, let's dive deeper into the hot dog controversy from hell.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we can't afford somebody to run all this for me, so here we go. All right, here we go. Hot dogs are considered one of the most American foods. Okay, hot dogs are considered one of the most American foods. However, a report uncovered some startling findings on what people are really eating when they bite into a Frankfurter. Hey, so if they can determine that there's human DNA in there, I mean, wouldn't you think you'd be able to match that up with like 23andMe or something?
Probably.
I mean, wouldn't you figure out like who's the culprit?
Yeah. So now, yeah, we're finding human DNA in hot dogs, but we can't test the DNA at a crime scene and get an actual suspect. You know, or Bigfoot. We can find human DNA in hot dogs, but we can't determine whether or not Bigfoot's real or not by whatever DNA samples they find.
Oh my gosh.
You know, but
That's probably the next headline. There's Sasquatch in hot dogs.
maybe.
Holy mackerel. Okay.
Yeah.
Clear Food analyzed, let's see here, 345 hot dogs and sausages from 75 different brands sold at 10 retailers and found that 14% had hygienic or substitution issues. That's a soft way of putting that, isn't that?
Yeah.
14% had hygienic or substitution issues, according to the report. This is the problem. And when I had a food trailer, I really felt strongly about like people are trusting you
Right.
with something they're going to put in their mouth. You know? Like should be nothing more sacred than food production in this country.
I understand. Yes,
my
I agree.
humble opinion. Right? Oh my gosh. Irritates me and then when you see that there's like people that are purposely putting stuff into food or whatever. Here, let me ask you this, Cole.
Okay.
What is your thoughts on, tipping online? You're going to order some takeout. You're going to order ahead to some place, get a sandwich or something. I'm not naming names. And tipping ahead of time. What's your thoughts? Go.
No way. I'm tipping you for high quality food, high quality service. Not just because you're making my food. Right? Because to me, and we've talked about this before, you were in the food industry. Okay, you're a food connoisseur, I would say, both you and April. When I eat, unless it's a hot dog, but if I'm having an experience, not just food. So my tip is based on that experience, the whole thing. I can't have an experience if it's just ordering online and I go pick it up, right?
Right.
So,
okay.
what about you?
Well, we used to get a lot of tips online, but I kind of felt like, okay, they know who's making this. Like we were very out there in front. Like this is, exactly who's doing it for the cooking, all the customer service at the window. And so I kind of felt like, oh, okay, they know who we are, so we're kind of earning that. But when I'm ordering from a random takeout place, I have mixed feelings on it because I feel the same way. I'm just ordering takeout. I'm not there. They're not giving me extra good customer service or things like that. I want to just not tip because I'm like, what am I tipping for? But then I feel that I'm going to just piss off somebody behind that counter who sees that ticket that there's no tip on there. And what if they then like drag my lettuce across the floor? You know, like in the back of my mind, I'm like, when I go pick it up and when I go pick it up and they're like, hi, and I'm like, oh, here, picking it up, and they smile at me just a little too long. I'm like, what'd they do to my food?
But when did
Because I didn't tip. Now I feel like I got a tip.
So are we talking primarily fast food industry? Because you referenced making a sandwich. When did we start tipping at fast food places? That's kind of the point. Fast food. We're getting out of there. It's not a food experience. It's not a food emotion. We're there to put what I consider crap. I mean, it's not even good food. Fast food, unfortunately, in the U.S. is, I mean, with what they cook with, but we can get into that some other time. But we're not tipping. We've never tipped at fast food restaurants or joints. And now I can't even tap my card on the card reader without it saying tipping $4, $5, $6, or way down in the bottom now, an even smaller font is no tip. When did that start? When are we starting to tip at fast food restaurants?
COVID.
That's true. Yeah, COVID.
Online ordering, everything changed. I don't know. I guess we could attribute a lot of things to that. But honestly, I don't know. That's a whole nother discussion. That wasn't even supposed to be the discussion tonight, but I'm telling you, when I order online,
right,
I kind of feel like, if whoever's behind that counter doesn't see a tip on there, like, are they gonna, do something shady here? And then I'm questioning it. It's like the whole, anyway.
I don't think like that.
I gotta finish reading. You don't think like that?
No.
I wish I didn't either, because it's a thing lately. Okay, substitution. Here we are, back to this.
Okay.
10 retailers in fact. Okay, 14% had hygienic or substitution issues, according to the report.
Okay, so does that mean they're just like sweating into your hot dog, or like a hair comes out of your arm or whatever? I mean, just as a hygiene, it's
I mean, somebody sneezed.
Yeah.
Somebody breathed too hard, right?
Right.
I mean, can you get DNA, I guess, from somebody's
breath? I don't know if you can from breath, but sweat, hair,
some chunky breath.
Get chunky breath.
Well, okay. Hopefully everybody else is already done with dinner tonight.
Right.
Substitution means when ingredients are added to the product that are not displayed on the label and hygienic issues happen when a non-harmful contaminant is introduced to the hot dog. All right, thanks for defining that. The online food guide, which uses genomic technology, do you know what that is?
No.
Neither do I. To examine foods by ingredients, found human DNA in 2% of the samples. 2/3 of the human DNA samples were vegetarian. 2/3 of the human DNA samples were vegetarian, according to Clear Food. That's incredible. However, Janet Riley, president of the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council.
There's a thing. How do you get on that council? I wonder.
I don't know. Is that you get elected to that? Is that appointed?
I don't know. Maybe you have to compete in so many Nathan's hot dogs eating contests.
Is that self-appointed? Said Clear Food has said very little about its sample collection procedure. See? That's the job of the president of the Hot Dog and Sausage Council, is to question that. Wait, hey, I'm going to question their sampling, their collection procedure.
Right.
So that's how you know it's a good president. Stick it up for the hot dogs and sausage. Okay, industry. It's entirely possible that the human DNA found could be linked back to the company's own staff. All right, there you go. Way to turn it right back on them. Riley said in a statement on Tuesday, likewise, when they suggest that some products showed the presence of another species, like chicken, in a beef product, this could also be from a single cell and even result from very practice of pulling samples from multiple packages in the same room, as the company may have done. Interesting. Cross-contamination, it's a thing.
Right.
You wouldn't think when they're doing bazillions of hot dogs that there would be a chicken present.
Maybe.
I guess they did chicken hot dogs yesterday. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the last of it. Well, no. Other findings include 10% of vegetarian products contained meat. Does that rock your world,
No.
Cole?
No. It doesn't rock my world. No.
So you're saying you're not vegetarian?
I am not vegetarian
I'm,
at all. Or vegan.
okay. So samples showed chicken, beef, turkey, and lamb were found in products that were not supposed to have those ingredients.
So they got to put a disclaimer on the package like they do for gluten? Are they going to have to start putting this may contain traces of meat product?
Or may contain traces of human DNA?
Yeah. I want to know how they're going to market this now. Our hot dog, pure, no human DNA.
Non-human DNA. Like
Right.
Organic labeling.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. 67% of hygienic problems found in the report were from vegetarian products. Oof. That makes you want to not go vegetarian, huh?
Oh, there's a whole myriad of reasons why I'll never go vegetarian. And like having meat products in my vegan food or vegetarian food is the least of them.
Holy mackerel.
But
like I say, to me, the food industry should be sacred.
it should be. And are we going to get into this or not?
Into what?
Like how we feel about the state of the food that we're consuming outside of hot dogs.
I mean, are you feeling you need to talk about something? I'm open. I mean,
I think our food in general is what's killing us.
okay.
I do. So, and we've talked about it before, my family has gone we've gotten away from all the seed oils. We cook just about everything that requires oil and beef tallow. We pretty much have gone grass-fed, grass-finished. If we eat beef, we eat venison, we eat elk, we eat antelope. We have our own eggs. We know what we're feeding our chickens. We've just kind of gone away from as much processed stuff as we can, and my entire family's healthier.
Wow.
Way
really?
healthier.
You
Yeah.
guys notice a big difference?
Oh yeah, notice a big difference. I've had migraines over the years, and I haven't had migraines in 2 years now. Since
Wow.
we've pretty much switched to eating healthy, eating like normal humans probably should have been eating for this entire time. So yeah, I really think that a lot of our food is culpable for a lot of the illnesses and problems in the human body. And then we compound it by jumping over to Big Pharma right away and trying to get a pill to fix us, which makes us worse. So we could get into this and get deep. And
Yeah,
maybe we will on another day, but
Well, we should have April in here because April is actually the one in here who really knows more about that than me. I luckily come home and like she makes me wonderful meals and things like that, and she's more of the health conscious minded one.
Mm-hmm.
I have been trying to eat more healthy. I have been trying to not eat as much fast food. I haven't had fast food now in a while, other than like sandwiches from a sandwich place.
right.
I had some Jimmy John's today. And that was not pre-ordered or ordered online. That was not the story I was telling.
Right.
Great sandwich. Got no problems there. But in general, I have been trying to eat healthier. I don't know. I think it's that we're getting older. But
Yeah.
in general, I think maybe even the younger people are, I don't know, they trying to eat healthier.
I think some are.
I think it's that we all have access to more information now.
Yeah.
Don't you believe? I think that's what's actually helping. I was never paying attention to this stuff in my 20s because I wasn't. We didn't have this type of exposure to everybody's sharing stuff, constantly. But now it's like it's there, so I'm paying attention to that stuff as well.
And that's a lot of it where it came from us is just the information. And we have it kind of started when I started cold plunging. That was kind of really beneficial to me, I felt personally.
Are you still cold plunging?
Not as often. And the awesome no wind that we have in Montana kind of destroyed my cold plunge.
What do you mean the no wind?
Oh, I'm being.
Oh, you're being okay.
Yeah, we had one of them crazy windy days.
I was gonna say.
And I was emptying my cold plunge and putting new water in it, and kind of lost track of what I was doing. I think I was editing a video or something like that, and then go outside, and my cold plunge is nowhere to be found.
Oh.
And then I found it like a block and a half away, all ripped up. But I still do every morning when I take a shower. I crank that thing as cold as it goes, and that's how I start off my day.
Oh, wow.
Let's crank it off.
I still haven't been able to do it, man.
No?
I've done a couple of the cold showers. I haven't been able to, I don't know.
Yeah. And for me, it's just a helpful wake up. So that's kind of where it started. And then we started researching into the, seed oil thing. And I had noticed that I've still got joint issues and pain working out and stuff like that. And I was like, well, maybe I'm just getting older and I just got to deal with it. And then I read an article that talked about inflammation in your joints, and it could be caused by a lot of the seed oils that we're eating or consuming when we eat foods, a lot of fry oil that we're using when we're frying our foods and stuff like that. So I told the wife I'm just going to cut those out for a couple of months and see if it relieves the joint pain from the gym, and it did.
Wow.
So yeah, so no more oils at our house. If we use oil, we use avocado oil.
Oh, okay.
But that's the only oil in the house. Everything
That's
else
not
is,
considered a seed oil, huh?
I don't know. Maybe it is. But that's what we use is
Yeah.
avocado oil. And then beef tallow. I mean, we buy beef tallow by like the huge gallons. And we actually get it locally. So shout out to Miller Ranch that provides it to Lakai here in town, and she renders it and sells it. So
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah,
know you
dude.
could get it. You can get it in mass quantities like
oh
that?
yeah, we get it in big like 3-pound tubs.
Huh.
I mean, and then we cook with it for everything. Like when I'm gonna
I'm going to need contact info when we leave out of here. You're going to have to slide me a little note. April will be, if I come home without that,
yeah.
April will be like, why didn't you get that? So,
So yeah, we cook everything in tallow now, and I mean I think it even enhances just a little bit of the flavor. Like it brings out flavor more.
Okay.
So like if we're gonna cook a ribeye or something like that, I'll flash it first before sear it, and then finish cooking it out, and it's done in beef tallow.
man, I'm getting hungry, man.
I know.
I've been here a long time today.
Eggs, I love cooking eggs in either ghee or beef tallow.
Yeah.
I think they just taste so good now, and the kids never even oh, I wish we were cooking with corn oil, or I wish we were cooking with vegetable oil. Never once come out of their mouths.
Oh, man.
So, and it works for us. And so
Well-
we're going to continue to do it.
I want it to work for me as soon as I get home because I'm starving now.
Yeah.
All I've had today is that Jimmy John's a little bit way earlier today, and then
And then our awesome hot
and
dog
then we had a hot dog. So
for our beginning of our show.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, big shout out there to our 17 viewers right now. Thank you for sticking with us. All right. We're just in
17.
La La Land over here. And this is a Big Fat Podcast. And this is our third live stream.
Yeah,
We
third
have
live stream.
a lot of podcasts, or not tons of podcasts.
Or close to 50.
Episodes.
At
yeah,
least
yeah.
50.
Yeah. And but we thought, hey, let's go do a few live streams. So hey,
Yeah,
we're
we're
just
here.
a couple of small town guys here in Montana. We're not sure where you're at. Let us know in the comment section where you're at. We're in South Central Montana. We're at the Uncle Sam's complex in downtown Columbus, Montana. So go ahead and hey, consider subscribing, huh? And we're planning on doing this a few times a week at least. And we appreciate you spending the evening with us a little bit. What are you finding in the comments? You see, what's going on? Let's check in with the comment section.
Well-
Even though there's 16 viewers, they are out of control in there.
We know Shelby had Jimmy John's today. Did you and Shelby eat Jimmy John's together?
No,
Oh, Shelby had Jimmy John's.
Shelby had Jimmy John's.
Yes. And
Oh,
There's
John
a-
is checking in from the free state of Florida.
yes.
Good to see you, John.
And there's a lot of people in agreement. Seed oil's bad, beef tallow good.
You know, I think that's all. At least for me, I'm starting to see that all over the place now. But I just didn't used to see that. But now it's like that seems to be out there all over the place. So
And I think
maybe
people
we're all getting educated.
are getting educated.
Can't read all the comments, can I? Vegas prepping. Tallow is the way.
Yep.
Yeah, we'd have a little jar of it at home.
Yeah.
But I haven't. I feel bad. I don't really cook all that often. I'm like coming and going, and every now and then,
Yeah. And
April just takes care of me.
the wife and I split it up.
Yeah.
I try to cook a few days a week,
Gosh, I should
and
do
then-
better at that.
and then she cooks a few days a week. So
Um,
Ken's in the room. Hey, Ken.
there he is. Ken Solomon. That's my brother right there. And we were actually going to do a podcast episode with him last night. And I'm the one who kind of wimped out. I was super exhausted yesterday.
Dude, I was beat too. I ain't gonna lie. I
Yeah.
was pretty exhausted. Yeah.
yeah, I just need a little bit of a break. I came in and recorded 2 episodes earlier this morning, and I was really fried yesterday. I'm going to bring up another little something here. And oh, you're not going to be able to even see it, huh?
I'm not. I'm just going to react to whatever you're throwing up there.
Because you'll see it on the replay or see it on the...
I'll see it, but I'm not going to hear it.
Oh, shoot.
That's fine. I'll just blind react to whatever you're going to throw up there right now. Because this is a work in progress. We're only in our 3rd live stream, so...
Oh, yeah.
I like this style, though.
Oh, well, shoot. That's not as fun, though. If I hit play on this, I got to wait like 30 seconds for you to see it over there.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, my goodness. It's not that fun. It's not that cool. Let me see what else I got over here. I'm checking around here. Okay. I do want to I do want to bring up the I'm going to play this one right here though.
Okay.
Let's jump over. I do want to do an update on the drone situation, the craziness of the drones. We're all learning more about that, right?
Right.
This video right here, this lady gets a really close...
If I can do this today.
We'll see if you see it.
Where am I? In between those 2 trees.
Can you see it yet?
No.
Okay. I forget that. I might just have to turn it.
No, don't worry about it.
So this is a lady, I'm not sure where she's at, but she has a drone or an orb.
But my fingers don't work. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys.
Is that video not playing? It's like it's not even playing. It's like not moving. Let me see if I can reload that. Because it's not showing.
All I'm seeing is trees.
Yeah, that's all I'm seeing too.
That proves we are live.
See? And...
If I can do
oh, there we go. Okay. She zooms in on one of these
those 2 trees.
so-called drones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it just freezes up right there. It was playing there for a second. Technical difficulties on our 3rd live stream. Apologize. I do not know why. This played through for me earlier. Come on. It's not going to show it.
Well, while you're talking about that, I did see that President-elect Trump even chimed in on the drone situation. It was actually a really good press conference. I think that he's gotten way better at press conferences and talking on the mic and actually paying attention to what his speechwriters are writing. He's doing a very good job.
He seems a lot more mellow.
Yeah.
Like, or something.
He does. But even he's like, the government knows what they are. They're not telling you. There's something fishy going on here. We need to know what it is. Essentially calling out the current administration to be like, come on now. Let's quit with the hide and seek stuff and let us know what it is.
Yeah, I saw that too. I just lost that video. Shoot. Okay. So anyway, she zooms in on it, and it's literally this just a glowing... You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of one of those electrical glass balls that you like put your hand on and the circuit or it goes to you.
Well, the static electricity goes through and it shows the light and everything.
And this thing's just glowing. And it was funny because she starts talking about something about how, like, do you know Jesus or something? And all of a sudden, the thing just starts doing, like, lines, like electricity is happening in this orb. And it was just kind of funny because she keeps bringing up Jesus to this orb, and it acts like it's reacting to her.
Oh.
It was kind of cracking me up because it was pretty crazy timing because she's videoing it for 2 minutes, and it doesn't do anything until she starts talking
about Jesus?
Yes.
Huh.
I'll have to work this out and get my my video presentation down here a little bit better. I'm just figuring this stuff out, so apologize about that. But I've heard a couple of things then. There was a guy, a very authoritative guy of some sort on Rogan earlier today. I saw a little bit of that. This guy said that he knows people in the government that their job is searching out, if somebody were to steal a nuke, their job is to like search that stuff out. And they
Okay.
said they're not being tasked with looking for anything. So he's saying it's not that.
What
So
is he saying it is?
I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm not sure what he's saying it's not that, because I started to even feel that way, because there was another guy who came out and said, hey, there's missing radioactive material from New Jersey. Did you see that report?
I did see that report.
Okay. So I don't know. I was thinking, well, I guess maybe they're out sniffing for some nukes, but I don't know. Then all of a sudden this guy comes around. I don't know who he is and whatever, but there's other people saying other things. What are your thoughts on that?
I still think they're ours. I still think it's some kind of defense system or training system that we're working on, and they're doing some kind of exercise and they're just not telling us. That's what I think.
I saw a really good one too of a guy who was in like a holiday photo, like a Thanksgiving photo with like RFK Jr.'s family. And he's there's this guy, somebody did a breakdown. They zoomed in on him, and then they're like, who's this guy? And then they show a clip of him. Did you see that?
I did see that, and he's talking about extraterrestrials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know where he's at. He's standing at a pulpit, and he's like, there's aliens coming, and yada. I don't know what all he said, but I thought that one was pretty great too. If I had I got to figure out my audio video skills over here. I would have played that one.
So what I'm wondering, I'm waiting for this administration. We only got a month left, right? When are they going to tell us? And this will bring back memories for a lot of people. For your safety, you need to stay inside.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Listen to us. We know what we're talking about, but for your safety, stay inside. 2019, 2020 all over again. If they were to come out tomorrow and say that, would this country take heed, listen to the administration, and stay inside?
I think not everybody, but a lot of people are really over that. Did you see the video where Peter Hotez said, he's a controversial guy, but he's a known science guy, whatever. But he put out a video where he was in I think kind of like a interview setting. And he said, come January 21st, he started running through a list of all kinds of viruses that are coming January 21st. And it's kind of like, how do you take that from this guy? Like, are you saying that's planned, or is he saying that because the new administrations comes in, we're just all going to be less safe that day forward? So a lot of people were taking that guy apart on that, saying, see, they're already planning this and da. I don't know that they're planning that. I don't know that anybody's planning anything. I just thought it was crazy. Why would you say that in today's world of heated, like, how do you back that up? Like, why would you say that?
You don't have to back up anything anymore. You just say it and let the pieces fall where they may.
Man. And if you're, how do you not take responsibility for that? I don't know.
But so you're saying, if the government were to come out tomorrow and say, for your safety, because of all these drones flying around and all this drone activity, stay inside.
I don't think 3 people in our county stay inside.
Well, here, yes. But are we saying that the general masses of people are going to once again completely agree and completely do exactly? Are they going to get Fauci'd again?
I'm going to say 42% of the population is going to comply. Even the ones who think they're not going to will succumb to fear.
You think only 42%?
Yeah, I would say it would be. I would say it would be less than that, but I was surprised how many people succumbed to fear through COVID the first time. I mean, and granted, there was times I was wondering, what is this? Like, what's going on here? There's stuff to but a lot of people, I just feel like really, really freaked out. And I don't know. I just feel like there's still, you saw how the elections went,
right.
How the country's so divided. I still feel like it's somewhat of a political issue, and the country's pretty divided down the middle on things like that. So I don't know. You think it would be less?
No, I think it would be more. I truly do. I think people have pretty much forgotten about COVID as far as we're going to do whatever.
So you're saying you think it'd be more people who aren't going to listen?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm saying 42% is going to listen and do what they're told on that.
Yeah,
You're saying
I think more. I truly think more people would listen and do whatever the government says.
Oh.
If they told us tomorrow to stay inside because of the drones, more than half of the United States would. I think, and we can get political or not, but I think most of the blue states would.
Huh.
And like you said, because it's politically divided.
I think some of them though are even questioning those things and thinking a little deeper on it now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would like to think so. That people are.
Think of all they got to mention is radioactivity, nuclear, and something might happen. Dude, you're going to go inside. They are. A lot of people are.
I feel like if they brought up a nuclear threat, I feel like you're right. I feel like more people are going to freak out about that because it's a new thing. If it was like.
Yeah, see, Vegas prepping says 60% stay inside.
Wow.
Yeah, 60%. And that's probably where I would say too. I would think 60% of America would listen.
Huh.
I do. And maybe it's because of my job and what I do for a living or what I've done for a living for so long, but I just...
See, I misunderstood you from the beginning. I thought that you were really going to... I thought you were saying that more people were going to defy it because that everybody got, felt like they got burned through COVID. But you're saying, no, more people are going to comply.
I don't think as many would comply as they did with COVID, but I still think it would be over half of America.
I wonder really if you could do we know how many people really buckled down and complied with the other stuff? The original?
When COVID first came out,
yeah.
I bet there's statistics somewhere, but I bet it was close to 90%.
Really?
Well, I do. I mean, we didn't have a choice. Like so when COVID happened, we were at Chico Hot Springs over in Montana and enjoying a weekend at the hot springs with some friends and, doing a little bit of partying and that kind of thing. They shut that place down. We woke up in the morning. We went out to, we had coffee, went out for a soak, getting ready for breakfast. We had breakfast, and then they're like, yeah, we're shutting down at 3 o'clock today, and we're not reopening. So we didn't have a choice. And then it was mask up for a couple of weeks. Then it was don't go to work and mask up.
Yeah, but it didn't last here as long as it lasted in a lot of other areas.
No, not here at all.
Pretty dang quickly, it was kind of back to normal-ish around here.
Yeah.
And then I traveled to other states, and I'd be like, oh, this is a whole different experience here.
Yeah.
So, that's interesting.
I just think, and I think a lot of it has to do with, and we can take it for what it is, but it's the attention span of the human mind at this point. All we really care about is that 15, 20 seconds that we see on our screen.
Yeah.
And then we move on to the next thing. And then we move on to the next thing. And then we move on to the next thing. So, yeah, if they told us tomorrow, stay inside. Drones are bad. I think 60% of America would do it.
I think, though, there's a percentage of that isn't doing it from fear. It's just that they want to stay home. I think
those people are already at home still.
No.
Yeah.
No. There's a lot of people that have begrudgingly gone back to work, but it doesn't matter what their background is, or what side of anything they're on. I believe there's a lot of people that are like, oh, yeah, tell me to go home, I'll go home. Because there was a lot of people that kept on kind of using the system for a long time to stay home that I didn't think would do that. Like people around here.
Yeah.
That I was like, what are you doing?
Go to work.
Yeah. And they were still trying to drag that whole thing out. So I was surprised by that. And I think that there's a certain element, I don't know. What do you guys think in the comment section? I think there's people that aren't staying home just because they're afraid of something. They're staying home because they just want to stay home. That's what I want to see. What do you guys think of the comment section?
I guess I agree with you to a point. But I still think a lot of those people still aren't at work. They're still using the system. And I didn't have that choice. I didn't miss one day of work.
Yeah.
During the whole COVID thing. I didn't have a choice. We were at work.
Yeah.
Every day. Still interacting with the public.
Yeah.
I never got sick. Never took the jab.
I stayed home. I didn't stay home. I stayed at work. I stayed at work. We didn't have a choice. We were like, well, we got to work.
Yeah.
And all those days we were like, man, we need to be in a regular building, brick and mortar thing and blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, we were like, fine. Because we were a takeout window. And all of a sudden, what our vulnerability was now a strength through that whole period. Nobody blinked at us.
Really?
But then, a lot of the other, I felt for all the other restaurants that were just like having to count their tables and space them all out and all of that kind of stuff. We didn't have to put up with any of that. We just had an outside takeout window.
Yeah.
So nobody had to come inside. So we were safe from scrutiny, I would say. Caltron 3000 couldn't afford to miss work. That was like a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
There were some people, though, boy, they just were like, I don't know. They stayed home in a heartbeat and were waiting for that check to come in.
Oh, I know. There were a lot of people that did that, but
yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens in the coming days, how long this drone thing drags out, though. I mean, so they've been being seen for the last 3 months. It's only been the last 10 days that has made the news cycle, for the most part, nationally, I guess.
Yeah. So then I saw that somebody was saying, the same guy who said that there's been, he said that the radioactive material that went missing in New Jersey happened on December 2nd. And he said the drones have only been out since December 2nd.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because like 2 of the articles that I read said that they've been seeing them for 3 months.
And that very well could be. I'm just saying what this guy said. And who knows that he's even right about missing radioactive material. I don't know, right? We all just see the news and you got to who knows what's really going on. That's not a new phenomenon. I did a podcast earlier this morning. We were talking about a guy in World War II from here who threw himself on a grenade.
In Iwo Jima.
Iwo Jima, yes. Anyway, here in the paper, in the Columbus News in 1945, they had a bunch of information in there that was incorrect on the whole thing. So that was something we kind of talked about, is that it's not a now thing. It's not that the media has just gotten out of control. A lot of the times it's just human error. It doesn't mean that there's, I don't know. I think people just make mistakes sometimes. I think there's a lot of like people making mistakes on purpose. We're not making mistakes on purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Being misleading. But I think a lot of it is also just human error. Anyway, I like going back through those old newspapers, seeing how they reported the news back then, reading it as if you were in that time. But it is interesting to me how many errors there are. It's also interesting to me how many errors there are at the cemetery. Yeah. I go through the cemetery and it's crazy to me, like how many of the headstones are incorrect, like just off, the wrong dates. Since I've been doing some research on some historical people or people, things happen to them, and I go visit their headstone and it's just off by days, or I don't know. It's interesting how information just gets messed up, even on something like that gets set in stone. The last bit of information about you
is wrong.
Yeah. So
in contrast between 1945's news and here, I would disagree. I think it's more purposeful now because we have it at our fingertips. Didn't take however many days to get from Iwo Jima to the United States to become part of the news cycle, right? And even out here, we were even farther away in 1945. I mean, we had boys, and there were females at the time that were support. But going to war, we still didn't have electricity here. We had outhouses.
Yeah.
So the news coming to Montana, some of it didn't get here for a long time. And so I can understand where it would be incorrect. But today, we have it so quickly. Well, how are we still getting it so wrong so often when we have it so quickly?
I'm going to disagree with you on this. I think that it doesn't matter what time period we've been in. Mm-hmm. News has been incorrect for devious reasons for a long time. And people have used the power of the newspaper in all kinds of ways to sway public opinion, to drive the whole, everybody into a frenzy about let's go to war. Different people or different strong, big businesses and banks that have owned papers have done this. If you go back and you look at what they were putting in the paper leading up to the Revolutionary War, there were guys who were stoking the flames, trying to get that thing to, there were separatists that were wanting to break away. Mm-hmm. And there was most of the country was loyalist. There were more loyalists than there were people who wanted to break away.
Right.
So, and you had people in the paper back then, and a lot of people anonymously. This is what's interesting now that like you'll hear, I can't remember what her name was. She just ran for president from South Carolina. She wanted everybody to have to register their username and like, so nobody can be anonymous online. Such bad news. That is such bad news. Now I get it. I hate misinformation just like the next guy. I want the truth. I want facts, right? But a lot of the part of the reason why we were able to break away from a tyrannical government in England was that guys could anonymously post what they wanted to put into the paper. And they would have been, if they would have put their name on that stuff right away, that'd have been hung immediately.
Right.
They wouldn't have even made it in the paper. So being able to put something out there anonymously it's important. Unfortunately, you're going to have people that misuse any platform, but I feel like they always have. Even in World War I, World War II, Civil War, you go back to any conflict in our nation's history, I feel like, man, there's people trying to sway. That part of it's clickbait. I mean, there's always been clickbait. The point is to sell papers, and then also to sway the public. And so I feel like, anyway.
So they're really, no, that's fine. So you're saying they're really not.
I don't think it's
information hubs.
I feel like people are people. They always have been, and people are doing the same thing now that they have done all through history. We're able to do it on a much different scale.
Right.
You're right. You have a recording studio with worldwide distribution in your hand. We all do. All of us do now, which is wild. So I was watching this guy who just gave a speech in front of the EU or something. I can't remember who he was. I saw this earlier. And he was making the point that it used to be only the guys with money who could afford to get into the newspapers, could afford to get media, could run for politics. But now everybody has an opportunity to have their voice heard by social media, by, like I say, we all have that camera and worldwide access, and it's who can use that to the best of their ability that gets them out there now. And so it's a different time. Like there's not as many gatekeepers.
Yeah.
But I still think misinformation, fake news, clickbait, and truth are all relative, as in the amount of it has relatively, I feel, probably stayed the same based on humans and human nature.
Okay. We don't disagree on things too often, but I like how you back that up. And I see exactly where you're coming from, and I guess I just didn't ever look at it that way. So
I've never thought about it until today, and actually till this evening. I mean, like literally this morning, going through that 1945 paper, I really started to think about that. So it's just like I haven't even really put a lot of thought into this. So I'm just winging it over.
A 180. Is your sweater comfortable?
Super comfortable.
Carltron 3000 would like to know how comfortable it is. And does it smell like cigars and whiskey or cookies?
It smells like sugar cookies. And I'll tell you why. Because I have a bag load of sugar cookie incense sticks over there, and I've been burning them all day in here. I have not been drinking in months, and I don't smoke cigars. So it's super soft. It's like crazy soft. It's super comfy. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel underdressed. When I walked in here and I saw you in the nice comfy sweater, I'm like, look at me in my t-shirt that has a dinosaur T-Rex on it.
Well, hey, I was in here doing like deep historical podcast sessions.
I know. And
I figured I shouldn't be over here in like a Sublime t-shirt or an Offspring t-shirt when we're talking about a guy who got the Congressional Medal of Honor.
I know. And I feel really bummed that I couldn't make it this morning for the podcast. But Ron Hayes is in the room. It's good to see you, Ron.
That is Mr. Ron Hayes, breakdancing champion of Wyoming in 1982.
Yes. Podcast episode number 46 or 47. Dude, it was so much fun.
That was so great, Ron. That was a lot of fun. And it was really good to talk with you and learn about you there. And I had a lot of fun with that. I was going back through that when I was editing that. And I was just, there was just some times I was just chuckling and just, and in a good way. It was just like a good feeling. And you're a good dude. So that was a lot of fun.
So you have a comfy sweater. It's good to know.
I have a lot of comfy sweaters. I don't
Yeah.
even go buy sweaters. I don't know how, but people buy me sweaters. So I guess I give off the vibe that I'm a sweater guy or something. But like I say, I was trying to act all grown up today for my deep conversation earlier this morning.
No, it's good. I'm excited to hear that when that podcast comes out.
Yeah, it was a good one.
So,
Yeah, got to handle the letter that in 1945. So this guy threw himself on a grenade for his buddies. And one of the guys that he saved, he only lived for like another couple of months, and then he himself died in combat. But the guy who stayed alive for a while, his mom wrote a letter to Donald Rule's mom, and it was just this really deep, heartfelt letter between these two women, these two mothers who had lost their sons in battle, and one had given his life for the other, but now he had even lost his life in battle. And anyway, original letter that got sent to that family, and Penny brought that over today, and we got to.
Sweet.
She read the whole letter.
Yeah,
It was crazy.
it'll be a good episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we need to do one of these lives and pretty much tell everybody who we are. I mean, we're 3 in, and is all they really know about us is that you're Milo and I'm Cole. So we should probably do one of these and at least say who we are.
All right, we'll do one of these. We'll do that. How about maybe on the next one we'll come prepared?
Thursday.
We're doing
maybe?
one. What's today?
What is today? Tuesday night.
No, today's Wednesday.
No, today is Wednesday. See?
So Thursday, are we coming prepared tomorrow night?
Yeah. Oh, Carltron 3000 wants to know what that book that we did on the last live was called.
I have it. Let me grab it. I have it right here.
So Cole and Milo here with the Big Fat Podcast from downtown Columbus, Montana in the Uncle Sam's complex. Just 2 small town guys from Montana talking about the things that interest us and the headlines of the day, and sometimes it's not deep and sometimes it's super deep. So we're 3 live streams in. We do have a podcast that's about 50 episodes deep there. If you guys are enjoying it, hit the like button, subscribe, and check out for when that bell rings, and we'll be live pretty often. But the book,
I had it still sitting over here. And here, let me see here. Oh, wait, there we go. I have to block my face there. It's called, let me get toward the light, Strategic Relocation, North American Guide to Safe Places. This is the 3rd edition, and apparently there's a 4th edition. Chock full of all kinds of good information.
yeah, that was a good live stream. You can go back and watch it too if you'd like. It was a good one.
Yeah, it was, and it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. All right, it's 10 o'clock here. Why don't we do that tomorrow night? We'll come back live tomorrow night, and I'll make up a good story about my background to try and make myself as exciting as you.
I'm not that exciting.
I'm pretty exciting. I'm pretty regular and average.
Yeah, but it was awesome to see all you guys in the chat. For those of you that have been with us for all 3 of these, dude, we super appreciate it. And we're looking forward to getting to know you guys more. And don't forget to hit that